So yeah, I just finished watching the Seahawks-Packers game, just like everybody else, and I felt, after watching what happened there in the fourth quarter, last play, that I needed to make a reaction video to it, because I feel like there needs to be something said about where the NFL is going as of right now. I don't want this to be necessarily just a rant, but more a discussion on just my concerns as an NFL fan about the league. So this isn't really going to be more or less a rant, but more just a kind of like a letter to the editor type of video where I'm just listing out my concerns. So let's just dive in. First thing, so the replacement refs, they are awful. This can't continue. It just can't. I mean, the replacement refs are the crux of everything that is wrong with the NFL this season. There have been so many bad calls made, so many mistakes, so many errors on the part of the replacement refs, and it's only week 3. There are problems upon problems. Just looking at not even the Packers-Seahawks game, the Cowboys-Bucks game, where the ref threw his hat because he didn't have a flag for who knows what reason, causing the receiver to slip in the end zone. That was bad. The 49ers-Vikings game, what a debacle. Jim Hogberg being able to con 2 extra timeouts from the replacement refs, because apparently the replacement refs don't know how many timeouts a team should get. Just that whole game was, I don't know what the replacement refs were thinking. That was just beyond awful. I mean, and then the Packers-Seahawks game. I mean, it was an interception, guys. It was an interception. There was no tie on the play. There was no tie on who received it, so it went to the offensive play. There was no tie. Okay? Jennings had the ball, and I'm not even a Packers fan. I'm not a Seahawks fan. I'm a Cardinals fan. Give me a break. Any fan of football could look at that play, the Jennings catch. It was an interception. It was an interception. You had a review, official review. You had replays. How do you call that an interception? How do you not call that an interception and call that a touchdown? Tate had one arm on the ball. So calling that a touchdown is just a cherry on top of everything that is wrong with the replacement refs right now. Going forward, the reaction the NFL will get because of this needs to be their wake-up call and end the lockout with the actual referees. Because if they don't, I will predict that there will be riots next week by fans, because this is getting ridiculous. Now the replacement refs are totally swinging the outcomes of games, and the referees are supposed to be impartial judges. They are not supposed to be affecting outcomes of games. They cannot be affecting outcomes of games because they are referees. They are enforcing the rules. When they're not enforcing rules correctly, then you're affecting outcomes of games, and ultimately you're affecting outcomes of the seasons. The season. I mean, just imagine for a second that the Seahawks go to the playoffs by one game. Like, it's one game. How can you sit there in the playoffs and objectively say that you deserve it when this game you should have lost? And it's not the Seahawks' fault, and it's not the Packers' fault. It's NFL's fault. This is going to land squarely on their laps. And it's just it's wrong. And the NFL for the last 2 weeks now have been protecting the replacement refs. They've been looking the other way. They're ignoring the issues that are surrounding. They are ignoring fans. They're ignoring teams. They're ignoring coaches. I mean, good God, you're disciplining the coaches. You're warning the coaches about being upset with the referees when the referees are making bad calls. And so you issue a warning to the coaches. You're a professional organization, guys. You're a professional organization. What you're doing now, it's embarrassing to the entire sport. It is embarrassing to the fans. It is embarrassing to the players. It is embarrassing to the coaches. It is embarrassing to the league. It is just embarrassing and pathetic, because we are a professional, world-class sport. I mean, football now has barely even begun to be registered in other countries. Yet we proclaim it here in America as a authentic sport. But we obviously have problems if the NFL officials can't even control their own games. I mean, the refs are losing complete control of games. It's obvious. Look at the Baltimore New England game. That game, you could tell the refs totally lost control. Totally lost control. They could not control players. They couldn't control coaches. And that is just embarrassing to the sport. You would not have this kind of behavior displayed in other countries when it comes to the sport of, say, soccer, football, what have you. I mean, if this happened in the game of soccer, I mean, I understand politically incorrect. I'm just going to call it soccer just for ease of understanding. But if this happened in soccer, no, it wouldn't happen. It would not happen if this was soccer. Because soccer is taken too seriously by fans and by the officials and by the players. Yet, here in America, we proclaim football as one of the greatest sports ever invented, and that it should be taken just as seriously as any other sport in the world. But we can't control the players, we can't control the coaches, and we can't make the correct calls according to the rules of the game that we defined? No. I mean, we don't have an argument anymore about how credible the sport of football is. We don't have an argument, because our games are pathetic. They're just pathetic. And it's not even, and it's pathetic not because of the players of the teams. Players of the teams are doing what they've always done for years. But it's pathetic and embarrassing because the refs can't officiate the games. I mean, the game of football is a physical sport, and therefore you have to make rules accordingly to the sport, and you have to officiate those rules accordingly. When you don't, then the sport loses credibility, and the NFL as an organization loses credibility. Roger Goodell he needs to end the lockout, because right now he is dragging down the image of the NFL in its entirety to its grave. The sport will continue, but it will always have a blemish on it. And that is sad, especially for a football fan like me, who's been a fan of the sport since I was crawling across the floor. So, Clay Matthews, posted the number to Roger Goodell's office. If I were a football fan, and I am, I would call his office and leave a message and tell him my concerns. Simply because this can't continue. And maybe if enough people call Goodell, then maybe he'll, kick it into gear a little bit and get going with ending the lockout with the refs, because this cannot continue. It has to be resolved within the next 3 days. If it's not, the fans are going to retaliate in ways that are just going to hurt the sport, the league, the reputation, the image. So, this needs to end now, is what I am saying. I am fairly irritated at this point watching games week to week, because it's not fun to watch. It's not, because you're sitting there and you're constantly worrying about what the refs are going to do, what are they going to say. Every time a flag is thrown, you worry, because you're sitting there thinking, well, they're about to make a bad call, and then on bad hits or illegal plays, they're not making calls. So it's not fun to watch. For me, for probably a majority of you watching, it's not fun. And I'm not going to watch the NFL in the future if this keeps up. And I'm a Cardinals fan. I should be loving this season. I'm a Cardinals fan. I should be loving everything about this season. Yet I can't, because this is happening. The Packers-Seahawks game is ruining my season. And I should be loving it. So, get your act together. Front office of the NFL, get it together. Otherwise, I'm going to be upset. Your fans are going to be upset. Everyone's going to be upset. And it's all going to fall on you. That's really all I have to say. I'll see if I start uploading more videos. I kind of wanted to do this next season, but I guess today kind of just, decided to kick it into gear and just start now. So yeah, I'll probably see you around, because I'm planning on posting more videos as weeks go by, my reactions to games and how the NFL will handle these things. So I'll see you later. Get it together, NFL, because I like you.